not only did I lose a friend, bro, but like I lost a friend, and then like my business partner, and then everybody else looks up to him. So it was really scary leaving because I'm like, fuck, no one's gonna fuck with me because they fuck with him so much. So, but you saying that, like, it meant a lot to me.
I could have did more, you know. I could have said more.
I'm just kidding. That's not it. No, but I appreciate you saying that, dude. That means a lot. And I'll say this. This is what I say behind closed doors, right? Like, we don't know what God's will is, right? Paul, ironically, was the worst disciple out of all of them before he was a disciple of God. Now, I know Logan behind closed doors. I know he has very terrible qualities, but I also know he's a very good man too. He has a good heart. He does good things. So when I saw him do this, I begged him not to post it. Not because of me. I knew I was going to be like, oh, this is great. This is going to make me look amazing. Yeah. But I knew it was going to hurt my friend's image, like in a really bad way. So I begged him 3 times, don't post that video. Sometimes people got to make their own mistakes. Yeah. And maybe what he's going through now is his relationship with God. And I just pray that him and his future family are good and they're protected and they find a God instead of trying to be God. And I think when you try to be God, the weight of the world falls on top of you.
Yeah, that whole era for him, I called him because first it was you and the backlash from that. Then CoffeeZilla made his video. Then it was the backlash from that. Then that whole pig situation came. And I was just like, I saw that and I was just like, man. And so I called up Logan and I was like, bro, like, you know, all this happened after you were publicly bashing God on your platform. And he was like, yeah, bro, I know. And I was like, bro, I don't know what more sign that you need to turn to him. But I was like, this is the sign that you need to turn to him. And he was like, you know, yeah, I've been praying. You know, yeah, you're right. And I was like, I hope you're not just saying like, you know, I'm right. Like, you know, I like, and that was me like, because it's just like, I just saw it, you know?
Yeah, it was in your heart. Yeah. And good for you for calling him and saying that, you know, being like, hey, this is my heart. You know, I think maybe, you know?
You know what scares me, dude, is how many more signs? You know what I mean? Like, what are you, like, bro, like, you know, what's next? I think it was the episode that you were on where he was like, if there's a God, present thyself. And then I literally, in the video, I go, bro, the way he presents himself might not be the way you want to see it. Yeah. And now I'm watching all this happen, and I'm like, bro, like at what? But also it's like, dude, like he's obviously wanting a relationship with you. Like he's making your world very hard. And sometimes that's what we need as humans. We need to humble ourselves. When you were at your lowest, who did you knock and try to hang out with? God. When I was at my lowest, when you were at your lowest, I don't know if you have a religious, like, when there's a reason why in the Bible it was, and forgive my language, it was pieces of shit that usually had the best relationship with God is because they hit rock bottom. And I just pray that their family becomes a family, and that they're good, and that they experience what real love is. And I think that's what's missing in that home is the true endless generosity of God's love. Like it's something that we all could relate. We could sit here and we could talk hours about. Yeah. But it's hard to explain colors to a blind man. You have to see it. You know what I mean?
And he's colorblind.
Dude, I didn't even know that. Dude. We'll end the podcast here. Thanks, dude. I'm just kidding. Just imagine.
Oh, you knew he was colorblind?
I forgot about that.
You forgot. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't like I was like sitting here being like, yeah. Just, every time I think of colorblind, I think of him crying in the video where I was like, dude, maybe let me look at your shit before you post it out there.
I don't want to do what everybody else is doing and ask you like what's happening behind the scenes and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna even ask you after the podcast, but what I do want to ask you is, how did you feel? Like what was your emotion? How were you doing back then, and how are you doing now? Like post everything.
I do. It's like multiple people, always new people coming downstairs. Mm-hmm. How I felt was confused. I felt like where I always pictured myself with my best friends, like creating content. The whole world is looking at our art, like, but it didn't feel like I was supposed to be there. And I just journaled. I go, God, like I'm too scared of leaving now, because it's the thing that put me on at a whole different level. It's a thing that's providing for me and my friends. but I felt like God was telling me to leave. And he kept telling me to leave. And he kept telling me to leave. And I just, one day I was crying and I wrote down, I go, take me. I go, just take me. Take my feet where you want them to be, where I'm too scared to be. And then all of a sudden, bro, you just see, everybody just sees me getting pushed out. And so I wasn't scared because I was like, oh, I asked for this. So, okay, let's leave.
He gives it to you. He gives it to you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It don't be in the best way, but...
Dude, but right now it's like, man, and I know this sounds crazy, but like I'm in the most happiest place I've ever been in my life.
Really?
Yeah, bro. When I was on Impaulsive, I always tell people, I'm like, I want to be as happy as I was when I was working at Five Guys. When I was just working at a 9 to 5, and I was just so excited about life. I never was stressed. I was never scared. I just knew God and me were just walking.
Yeah, you would say that all the time.
And now I just feel like, you know what it feels like? This is the best way I could put it. It felt like before I was hanging on to God and I was like losing my grip. And now it's like God's holding on to me and it's impossible for me to leave. It's just like I'm here and I'm locked in and I'm confident about where I'm at. And now it's like, even if the devil took everything away from me, I would just have a smile on my face. Like, you have nothing on me. I found my true happiness.
Yeah.
And my happiness is sitting in the presence of God. And there will be nothing that could ever steal me away from him now. That's truly how I feel. Look, what do we do? Do we go on from there? Like, what do you like?
That was tough. Yeah. That was tough.
Well,
How did you feel? Because you're his missus, so I know his pain is your pain.
Yeah.
How did you feel through everything, and how do you feel now?
well, now I feel so much better. But yeah, no, definitely through it. Because whatever he feels like I feel. So when he's upset, when something's bothering him, when something is making him angry or hurt, like it gives me just so much anxiety, like just the most amount of anxiety, because I don't want him to be in this place. You know what I mean? So then it's kind of like, you don't know, he might say he's okay one day, but I'm like, are you okay? Like, you know what I mean? And then the next day something might be hitting him a little bit harder. And so it's just that, like, pending anxiety of waiting for him to find that peace and finding resolution within the situation, And so I just think overall, I just was hurt that he was hurt, and that was the only thing, And all I could really do in that moment is just be there for him and try and be what he needed to be and support him and help him in however way I could help him. And sometimes it was just either sitting there not saying anything and just like listening, or, you know what I mean? So
I feel like your situation with what you went through was such a public testimony to so many people of just letting God take over, because it was in such a public light of everything, and just with his name, and it's like you saw like other forces. It was like I'm not even saying this to like really demonize Logan at all, but it's like I really feel like God was using Logan to prove a point to the world in the fact of like, follow me, because when you really think about it, like, why would you want to leave Impaulsive? It's like
it wouldn't make sense.
It wouldn't make sense at all. But look at where you are now. It's like, I feel like it was a testimony for so many people of like, stop holding on to what you're holding on to, because that's not my final plan for you. I want you to be here. And I feel like you leaving, taking that leap, and doing what you feel is right, what you know is right, and listening to God, that's helping so many other people. Because I know it helped me. Like, seeing you get through that, and you not folding, and you not conforming, and you not, just staying where you got a silver spoon, and where, you might have a rusty spoon some nights and stuff, but still, like, taking that leap of faith, it inspired me. So I can only imagine how many other people it inspired.
no,
That means the world to me, bro. That really does. Thank you. The one thing I would say is, I'm gonna bring it back to Bell. Like, this like not changed my point of view on you, but like, this is how I knew everything's gonna be okay with you as my partner, is because it was during a moment where I was going through, where the internet was talking about something I was going through, but it wasn't the truth. And nothing hurt me more, because I'm like, dude, this is a lie. Everything that they're speaking and clowning on me and taking me on is a lie. It was an edit. It wasn't real. And so I'm sitting there and I'm in like a meditation like point where I'm like on my knees and I'm like sitting there and I'm like praying to God, but then I just broke down, bro. And I just started crying and I kept asking him like, what did I do? Why is this happening? And why do I feel so alone? Like, what's going on? Like, and I just started sobbing, and she came and she slid like her back against the wall, and I couldn't see what she was doing. And I'm just sitting there, I'm choking up, and all of a sudden I hear like paper flipping, and then she just starts reading the Bible to me. Doesn't say a word. She just puts her hand on my back and goes like this, and she starts just like praying over me and reading the scripture. And dude, it felt like somebody lifted me in the sky. And I was like, that, like, and I never thought I'd ever talk about that, but that was possibly my favorite moment with you, like over everything. And like, I would give everything up to just spend my life with you reading the Bible and hanging out, because you're my truly, like, when I got put to the test, the scariest thing is when I'm going through a test is the people that I love, I'm watching them leave. And my scariest one was like, I can't let Belle leave. Like, I can't, but I can't also pull you into my life, right? That's your choice. So when I watched you not only rock with me, but you weren't holding my hand only, you were holding the Lord's, and it was a wrap. It was that moment in time where I was like, I'm okay. I got everything that I need. All right, God, take me where you need to go. And then everything just started. My mom had a dream like a couple nights before that, or a couple nights after. She says, I saw you with God. Not like God took form, but it was like a light, and God says, tell him to go this way. And I go this way, and every time I'm putting my foot down, it's the path is being made. So it was like, my mom told me, she goes, I think it's time for you to leave Impaulsive. And like, I was just like, this is really crazy. And also it's like, bro, imagine like starting a fucking podcast, like after you're on the biggest podcast in the world. Like, it's the scariest thing. You're like, no one's going to be on this show. And now we talked about what's like happening in the future. And it's just like, every time I look at that, I have to give the glory to God. As much as I sound like a crazy nut, like just Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. But it's like, yeah, it is Jesus. Cause like all of you guys left. So I ain't taking away the biggest partner.
They didn't leave. He removed them.
Right?
Exactly, yeah.
So it's like,
well, thank you for even saying that, and I love you. And of course, I mean, and I think that's too. I think it's your immense faith in God, and I think that too through that, you know, in my faith in God and knowing, like, from an outside perspective, in my mind, I'm like, dude, you're so talented. You're such a good human. You have such a good heart, and so in my mind, when you were going through all that, I'm like, I know it's gonna be okay. Like, I just knew it was going to be okay. I knew that this was a rough patch, but I'm like, I know it's going to be great. I know you're going to be good. I know you're going to get through this, and you're going to be better for it. You know, it was just hard for you to see it at the time, of course, because you're going through something. But I always knew you were going to be just fine and better because of, like, the person that you are, you know?
yeah.
And happy as a girlfriend that you were away from people who were hurting you, because you don't, why would I want you around that?
Like, seeing thumbnails and just seeing the gifts you have on, it's so happy. Like, it puts a smile on my face. Like, seeing like you just like keep on leveling up and getting better, like, cause bro, everybody loves the underdog story. Everybody.
I appreciate it. You guys are like making me feel a certain way. Thank you.
We won't leave your side, bro.
I appreciate that. I really do. And truly, this is like one of the reasons why I said I'd come to you, is because like, dude, like, as much as we're in the same field, like, I'm a huge fan of you guys. Like, I love being involved in anything you guys are doing, and I'm still super grateful. You know what I mean? And I really appreciate you guys.
Vice versa, bro. Vice versa.